A true sit-down interview that we have now as Maeve Gallagher joins us. 99-73, and it was relatively close in the locker room at the half. A 12-point lead. The third quarter changed everything. You outscored them 27-8. What was the message at the half? What did your team do better in that second half?
We had to make some defensive adjustments, and we were getting in some foot races, and we were losing them. So we made some adjustments, and they executed it extremely well, and therefore we held them to 8 points. We got the ball out of a couple of their kids' hands, and were able to make them rely on some kids that don't typically bring the ball up the floor to bring the ball up the floor, and we were able to execute and really play our style of game, which was really good for us.
When you've defeated a team twice in the regular season, is there an inclination for a coach that you have to come up with something new? Or do you say it's worked twice, let's do what we did the first two times?
I think it was a mix of both. We are a team that when we do our foundational things, we have success. That's proven true for, 23 games now. We are not a team that's been in here reinventing the wheel. However, I am a coach that is very adamant that we adapt where we can. But at the end of the day, I want our team to have free minds. That's critical to play a fast pace. So we do as much as we can to adapt to their strengths, and then we, hammer home what worked. We really highlight the mistakes we made in game 1 and 2 versus them so that we can avoid repeat mistakes. And I think we did that well, especially in the second half.
How in a game that's called very tightly for most of the game, and I know you guys like to get out and run, want to play aggressive and want to play up-tempo, how do you keep that same mentality going while also having to adjust to how the game's being called like that?
Well, I think that's the benefit of our depth a little bit, right? Like, we've gotten some kids back in the mix, so we can be a little risky with, when we have a couple kids with fouls, and, they were calling some hand checks early on, and then, they faded in the second, so we could play a little bit more aggressive. And then in the third, our big focus was to get out in front of them, not run beside them, and that helped with that. But I give it a nod to our depth and being able to play. People forget how hard it is to play, with different groups of people all the time. That is a skill set that our team has proven to be really good at. Putting a kid in the 4 that's typically a 5 and mixing people in, and their chemistry adapts very quickly. So, I definitely give that nod to our depth.
I asked Abby this, and I'll ask you this from the coaching perspective. What is the gearing up process like for a game like this? When you guys are used to playing Wednesdays and Saturdays, you just played Saturday, you're playing on a Monday, now you're going to play on Wednesday again. How do you keep everybody fresh, engaged, focused with, again, so much outside that's going on with how much is at stake?
Well, I think what we remember is that we have proven to be able to perform in smaller moments, and that is what prepares you for bigger moments, right? We are a big recovery team. We are a big weight room team. We've leaned on that a lot in these one-day turnarounds. We have a really good in-depth staff. We have a couple guys on campus that help us out, and our goal is to get their bodies ready. So while we go light, in these one-day turnarounds, that's where I can smile a little bit as a coach and said, I told you so. When we ran all year long, and, we were having hard practices on the day after games when other people typically recover, that was a nod to, me saying I believe that we are going to be playing in March. And so 4 games in a week, winning that has been our goal all year long. So mentally, I don't doubt for a single second that they are not focused. I don't doubt that they are not invested, and I don't doubt that they are not ready to get on I-79 again and head back up there for a tough one on Wednesday.
What does this postseason win mean for this program?
I think what it means is that, especially for our women, is for them to believe in what they do. We've had some good teams here in the past, really good teams, that, even that I've been a part of as the assistant, that we've struggled to get over the hump. And we've talked about it relentlessly since August, is that, when you control the controllables and we keep it simple and we rely solely on each other. We're an us versus us team, and I think that this allows them, and we've had some big wins this year, right? Like, we cannot ignore our strength of schedule. But, the goal of all of that and the goal of this is so that they believe in themselves, right? Like, we've had everybody on this bench, aside from our freshman and Haley Ford, remember last year at Cal U, and they remember their freshman year at Cal U. We haven't been able to secure the playoff win, and I think that we really harped on believing in each other, and that this just ignites that. We got the one out of the way, right? And now we go and we do what we have been set out to do since August 26th.
Well, congrats on the victory tonight. Keep it up and
Thank
enjoy
you.
this one while you
Congrats,
Thank you,
Coach.
guys.
Great job today.
Maeve Gallagher,